I'm going to put my nuts on a block and say that this lens, the RF 85mm f1.2, is the best damn lens that Canon has ever made. Now, before you go and start screaming at me about its $3,000 price tag and the fact that that is a lot of money to spend on a lens to get pretty bokeh, I'm going to look at it a completely different way. I'm going to say that this is a fantastic lens. Well, I hope it is, but this is a fantastic lens because it's a fantastic lens, not just because you can get smooth, creamy bokeh with it, because as far as I'm concerned, smooth, creamy bokeh is so freaking overdone. So here's the challenge. I am busy with a documentary that I'm shooting here in South Africa. I'm on the road for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to take the DS and I'm going to go and shoot with it on my documentary as my main lens. So for interviews, for B-roll, portraits, all those kind of things. And I'm going to see what I can get out of it that would justify spending $3,000 on this lens. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is stupid o'clock in the morning. We are at the airport heading off to Mthatha and then off
Top of the morning, top of the morning.
We've got cool guys like this hanging around.
Top of the morning.
Because all the cool people hang out at this time of the morning. So this is the start officially of the Section 27 documentary on this trip. I'm also going to be reviewing the new Canon RF 1.2 DS lens. So we'll be doing that and yeah, whatever else comes up. Okay, on what I think is a plane. It's so small, I'm not 100% sure. Looks more like a car that someone strapped some wings to and kind of duct taped them on. But we are on our way to Mthatha and then off for the rest of our trip.
I'll sit back, relax, enjoy the food.
Okay, touchdown on Mthatha Airport. It is cooking hot here already, which is insane because it's like 8 o'clock in the morning and it's already 28 degrees, but hey, that's this part of the country for you. Just gonna wait for some bags now quickly and then it is off somewhere. I'm not quite sure where, but as long as we find some coffee and I can get a smoke, it's all good. Okay, so that is it for the Sikhi. Oh, there we go. That is it for the Sikhi. We are done with the shooting here today. We are heading back to Mthatha for the day. We're going to go chill out. And man, it is hot. I'm trying to figure out why it is so freaking hot. It's like the devil's armpits here today. I'm dying. But anyway, great shoot. I think we got some phenomenal stuff considering what we were presented with. That 85mm 1.2 Canon lens is a beast. I will talk about that a little bit more in depth and how it works on the video side and photo side a little bit later. We're going to head out to the ocean tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get some cool stuff there. We're going to get across the road here, so I'm going to get back in the car. Okay, so one of the coolest things about going on these assignments is stopping along the way and finding cool little spots like this. So we've got this little cave here at Isinuka, and now we've got a red fountain down the hill. Now apparently the mud inside this cave is supposed to be really good for your skin, and of course you can see I take really good care of my skin. Okay, so into the cave.
Welcome, Shane. Welcome to the cave, Shane.
It was a good idea to wear the big. Okay, so you guys can't really see anything, but we're in the cave now, and my crazy colleagues over there are going to go and collect some mud. We've made our way up to this really cool red pool. Just
And your colleague
over
is
here.
about to jump in.
And yeah, one of my crazes are actually going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it because I'm still covered in blood and mud from the last time I did anything. So I'm going to sit here and behave myself for a little bit. But Maybe we'll get lucky and she'll fall over. Apparently if I stick my nose in there, it's like eucalyptus or something like that. I think I'm gonna, regret this. Ow. Oh, holy shit. Whoa, that's cool. Noses for a very long time. Oh, okay, so after a good night's sleep, I'm feeling a little bit better this morning. The body is still a little bit sore from the fall yesterday. Nothing too serious, a couple of scratches, some bruises, but hey, I'll live. Can't believe how strong that freaking Canon EOS R is. It's literally hit the ground hard and in the water and the mud, and the camera just carried on ticking. Turned it off, turned it back on, and it carried on shooting photos and video. Not a tiny little scratch on it, but nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Well done, Canon, on that. But that's not what we're talking about in this video. In this video, we're talking about that 85mm f1.2 DS. And what I think I want to try and get across in this video is that it's not the kind of lens you buy just to get great bokeh. It's the kind of lens you buy if you are going to be shooting portraits, obviously, and video, interviews, those kind of things. But the color that it brought out in our shoot yesterday in no light whatsoever was unbelievable. This is the kind of weapon you want in your armory without a doubt. We'll get into technical specs about the lens a little bit later and whether I think you should be buying the DS version over the other version. By the way, I do think that you should drop the extra cash and just go for the DS because somehow it really does seem like it is sharper. I'm going to be shooting some more stuff today with the DS, some more interviews, and it's kind of nice to, instead of just kind of review the lens, go find things specific to shoot, to be actually reviewing this lens while I'm working on an actual job down here in rural Eastern Cape. So I'll be showing you more of that. I'll chat to you a little bit later more about the lens, but so far, what a phenomenal piece of glass. Ooh, what an amazing day out in the rural Eastern Cape. Carrying on with the documentary, we're going to be doing some interviews today, shooting some rural scenes, putting that 85 1.2 to the test out here. Man, I live in a beautiful country. Up early, just shooting some great photos, shooting some great video. Happiness. That is our day done, and we are rewarding ourselves with our own little piece of paradise. I mean, how stunning is this? This is on the wild coast, completely untouched. So I'm gonna go find a little spot over there somewhere to go have a swim. Really do love my job. So when you have a crew, this is the shit you have to do. Because someone didn't bring shorts.
And you have to, who likes picking up rocks?
And she's got like every rock that is on the beach she's taking home with her. And now I've got to carry her ass across the river.
What?
Whoa!
Ooh, did we drop the cute? Ooh, it's a cute one. We can't leave it.
It's a cute rock.
I have a rock addiction. But my house looks really nice.
Get on. Okay, we're going across the river.
Woohoo!
If we fall, it's not my problem.
Oh my gosh, Shane, no, don't say that.
I should stop here, hey?
No. Yes, we made it to the other side. Woo!
Now, the old me would have thrown her in, but... Okay, so this is a little bit different for me. We're sitting in what used to be a classroom up in Limpopo province. And I figured this is a cool time for me to kind of just sit back and discuss my thoughts on this 85 1.2 DS lens. Now, most people buy this lens because they want that beautiful bokeh, but it's a hell of a lot of money to spend just to get slightly softer bokeh than you get on the standard 1.2. So why would you buy this lens as opposed to that lens? In fact, why would you buy either of these lenses if you've got a 70-200 or you've got any of those other lenses? Why spend all that money on an 85mm f1.2 if you're only going to shoot those kind of pictures every now and then? Well, what I'm trying to point out in this video and on this review and on this trip while I'm using it for this documentary that I'm making is that this 85 is not just aimed at making pretty bokeh. It is a beast of a lens. I've been using it the whole way through this documentary, shooting interviews, shooting landscapes, shooting children playing soccer. It is a phenomenal lens. So spending all of that money and investing in this 85 1.2 most probably is a very bright idea. Coffee, good. Okay, so I'm back from my 2 weeks traveling around the country working on my documentary. Still tons of work to get done on that, but hoping to have it out sometime in March, and I will show you guys that when that happens. On to more important things. My final thoughts on the 85 1.2 defocus smoothing lens. Man, this beastie is phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. It did the most amazing things. It really did. I was completely and utterly surprised at how versatile this one lens was. I used it for 90% of the stuff I was doing down there, both photos and videos, doing landscape work, doing B-roll, shooting the interviews, and being able to shoot those interviews at f1.2 during the day with the filter on and just getting that flat kind of background. It was just gorgeous. Obviously in bright sunlight, you're going to struggle to get down to f1.2 without spending a lot of money on a decent ND filter for it. Let's run through it step by step because I'm kind of excited about the lens, as you can tell. Build quality, it's Canon. And the RF lenses seem to just be even better than the EF lenses. So the build quality on the lens is so good. It's so good. Everything feels good. Focus ring is smooth. The little adjust ring is fantastic. It really has been put together well. But that's something we have come to expect from Canon. The focusing is so good. I was actually pleasantly surprised at how good it was. It was nailing eye focus, it was nailing face focus, and tracking in situations where I thought there was no way it was going to handle it. It handled it no problem. It was really, really awesome in all the different modes across my EOS R and across my EOS RP as well. Just for fun, I stuck it onto my EOS RP, mainly because it looked so silly on the RP, but I used it on the RP as well. And the focus tracking on the RP with this 85 1.2 was phenomenal. So if you do have an RP and you've been kind of thinking, well, I'm not going to get this lens because it's going to look silly, get it anyway because it works really well on the RP. The RP actually surprised me a hell of a lot this trip. I went out, I had my 5D Mark IV, the EOS R and the EOS RP, and I can honestly say that my 5D Mark IV spent 99% of the time in my bag, and I did most of the work on my RP and on my R, which I'm currently shooting on at the moment. That's the R over there, and that's the RP over there. My 5D is sitting on the shelf. So focusing, no issues, pin sharp. It is so pin sharp. It is pin sharp right from f1.2 all the way up, and I'm talking all the way up to f16. I would actually say that it may actually be sharper than the standard 85 1.2. It just feels that way. I won't be able to really see unless I kind of get footage side by side and have a look, but I think that it is definitely sharper than the standard 1.2. So this could be worth that extra bit of money. Excuse that, the geyser for the house happens to sit in my studio, so whenever anyone turns a tap on it makes that noise, and I've
reshot this 4 times already, so I'm not going to do it again. Back to the lens. I love the lens. I think it is worth the extra money. As far as the bokeh goes, yes, it is much better than the standard 1.2. What happens is, instead of getting those hard bokeh circles, what happens is it softens out on the edges, so you get these beautiful bokeh circles that are really nice and soft. But I would not go out and spend $3,000 on this lens just so I could shoot at f1.2 for bokeh. Yeah, that's for rich people, guys who can afford to just buy one of these, stick it in their bag, and just use it when they want to use their bokeh. For most of us, for us normal people who are going to drop $3,000 on a lens, it's got to do a hell of a lot more than just make pretty bokeh. This lens does that. I love it, and I will be adding this to my bag. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be getting rid of my 70-200 2.8 EF lens, and I'm going to replace it with this 85 1.2 DS, because I don't do a lot of long lens photography, and most of the time I can get in close enough with my 85 if I need to, but the versatility that I get from this 85 is better than what I could use my 70-200 2.8, plus I'm getting those extra stops as well. So that's it, my final thoughts on this. As you can see, the videos have changed up a little bit, and I am going to be changing things a little bit more as I go along, because I want to make videos the way I want them. I'm no longer sticking to the YouTube regime of what is supposedly this is the way you're supposed to do things. I'm going to do things the way I like them, and hopefully you will like them as well. So no more little fading in black bars or too much B-roll or EDM music or that kind of stuff. I want to bring quality content across to you, and if that means I do things, it's amazing how every time I try and film a video that someone decides to use a tap downstairs. That is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got some big announcements coming up, especially if you live here in South Africa. Keep an eye on my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Facebook feeds, because there is something very cool happening over the next 2 months. I can't go into details on it yet, because you know what happens, you get excited and then things don't work out and then you look like an idiot. So I'm not going to be that idiot. I'm going to keep it quiet until I have things nailed down. But there are some very cool things happening with some new partners that are coming on board to help me create more tutorial and teaching content. That's it. I am out of here. I need to go and start working on getting the documentary stuff all done. And I will see you, yes, you, in the next video. Bye.